So by the year 2020, there will be 1 million unfilled tech jobs in the United States. Another stat for you, 81% of women in the United States will become mamas by the age of 44. Mama. This right here is Tina Lee, and she is working in this area right now. She's working to make sure that the overlap between moms and all those unfilled tech jobs gets much bigger. And we are interviewing her today. Today we're interviewing Tina Lee, the founder of a nonprofit called MotherCoders, which, as you can guess, teaches mothers to code. Okay, so MotherCoders offers programs where if you're a mom, you can come in and learn the basic skills of building a website or building an app, but they also offer childcare, so you don't have to worry about taking care of your kids while you're getting education. And Tina herself is a mom. I have seen her speak before. This lady comes correct. I'm gonna shut up so we can go and interview her.
What kind of videos do you do?
Okay, so every time that we have a job, we replace the batteries in this little audio recorder that we have. Because when people pay us money to record their videos, we don't want the battery. We can't be having the batteries going out when they're in the middle of saying something brilliant. But what that means is that we end up with a lot of batteries that are only partially used. And so I created this bag.
Vous m'offrez un verre?
Si vous voulez.
Alright, I have a wicked migraine right now. It feels like the top right quarter of my head is trying to kill me. I'm worried about dying in this interview. Just dying in general. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling good. I'm happy.
See, we just passed some little girls and they think Miles is a celebrity right now. They're looking at you like, why is she filming him? Is he famous?
Tout à coup, je ne sais pas quoi dire.
Okay, we just got here. We're at the Google Community Space. This is a space that nonprofits can use. And this is where MotherCoders has some of its meetings. It's also just really pretty.
So I brought you something. Do you want to open
Oh my
it
God,
now?
that's so sweet.
Because we have a whole series.
Look.
This is awesome.
All right.
I need to consult with all of your beauty experts.
I was trained by gay men. By gays. Eyebrows on fleek.
Okay, here we go. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Mary, and we're live on the Sheleader show. And today we're sitting with one of my favorites, Tina Lee. Tina, wave to the internet. If you have a question for Tina, then drop your comment below. Okay, we're gonna get started. All right, how is life today?
I don't even know where to start. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and it's summer.
Can I just ask you about having kids then, okay? I just want to dive into that.
I got no answers,
Right?
only complaints.
I got Miles over there, my babe, my hubby, and we are sitting here thinking maybe it's that time in our life when we should start popping them out. Can you help enlighten me? Should we have children or not? Our lives are in your hands.
Oh man, that is a tough question. I can argue both sides. For the longest time, I didn't think I was gonna do it. I went to women's college. I was like, I don't need this. I'm gonna do me, whatever. I don't even know what that means. And then I met my husband, and it was like, oh, maybe maybe it's possible because he's so awesome. It wasn't until I was 35 and suddenly it was as if like I was in an R. Kelly video, like my mind was telling me no, but my body was telling me yes.
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes.
We lived in this neighborhood where there were lots of new parents, so I felt like my ovaries would kind of like had a baby GPS.
No, I get that totally.
Right?
It's insane how much that makes
And I
sense.
was like, it's like a phase. And then when I was 37, I had my first child. And I thought this is the only one we're one and done because I reacted to the pregnancy thing so horribly.
What do you mean?
I was huge and everything was wrong. And meanwhile, my husband started losing weight because we were eating healthier, we weren't drinking.
That's helpful.
Right? And I'm just like, wait, so you're getting hotter. I'm turning into Jabba the Hutt.
How do you think that having kids has changed your life then?
I've never been to war, but I'm gonna guess parenting is kind of like what, like you don't know until you've done it. And so I'm the first to admit I was such an asshole. Like I just didn't get it. I just didn't know. And we don't talk about it. So it's not entirely my fault. It seemed like this foreign thing that certain people do that makes them, want to go home right away and like not see you anymore. So it was just this thing. So the transition has really, really forced me to grow a lot of empathy for most people in the world. It took me a while, a few years, with the help of a very well-trained therapist to fully embrace my role as a parent. I found that I was stripped of a lot of stuff that I thought made me awesome. Women go to school, they go to college, they get jobs, they do all this stuff. And suddenly when they become moms, our society kind of goes, okay, well, thanks, you can go do that now and we'll see you later. And I feel like that's a huge waste of resources. I was like, look, I need to up my tech skills. I have been going to meetups and all this stuff. And then after 2 kids, I just wasn't able to go anymore. Let me tell a sad story. So I went to a meetup. It was a all-day weekend meetup. And during lunch, when everyone was taking a break and like networking and just hanging out, I was in the back. These things almost always happen at a startup. So it was a startup space. In the back, there was one room that had a door with a lock on it. So I was pumping while everyone was eating and hanging out. Mind you, it was January, so they turn off the heat on the weekends. So I'm pumping in the freezing cold in this room that is normally occupied by engineers who didn't go home that night and needed a place to crash.
That's sweet. That's really sweet.
And like this realization, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I here? And it's not their fault. They just, how would they
And
know?
at that point, you're like, there should be a better way for this.
Yeah. Yeah. I had envisioned just a bunch of women learning to code over here, like some grandmas over here with the babies, and then that was going to be that. I threw up this Google form saying, hey, who would be interested in something like this? And within like 3 or 4 days, I had close to 100 responses from women.
I was like, how do I have the time to get to a coding boot camp at 8 a.m. and last until 8 p.m. when I have 2 kids I have to get to and take care of?
We do this tech orientation and we provide them on-site childcare while they're learning.
I think having that peace of mind is huge.
I want to play devil's advocate for a minute, and let's say there's somebody watching who is an employer and is like, of all the people that we could equip with tech skills,
Right.
why would we equip moms? Or even a mom who's watching who's like, I don't know why I should train myself, why somebody would pick me, why moms?
Well, devil, let me tell you, 81% of women become moms. The women that are sitting next to you at work, whether or not they're moms now, there's 81% that they are or will become one. For those who have been bending over backwards trying to recruit and groom and like shore up the pipeline and all of this, that's great and that's wonderful. But if you don't change up the work culture a little bit to make parenting more compatible with work, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna be pushed out, right? Because it's just not sustainable. And part of that is because we have this ideal worker model, you know, this like relic of the 50s where like usually the man is the breadwinner and then like someone at home does all the other stuff.
You used to be a tech recruiter?
Yeah,
right?
I did. I did that for a while.
Tell me about that. What did you learn doing that?
I got to see up front what types of candidates were coming in, what types of salary and, you know, other types of compensation packages were being offered, and then kind of this disparity between all the areas that
Like
you
a
would
couple
think,
of the
right?
biggest takeaways from what you learned.
Man, I remember working with this one mom, and this is before I became a mom, right? And there were 2 final candidates, and she kept lowballing her salary. I was like, are you sure there's room? You know, I can go back to them and tell them more. And she's like, no, that's good. And I just couldn't understand. But now I know what she was doing. She was discounting because she knew she couldn't be the ideal worker. She knew that she had to hard stop every day at a certain time. She didn't want to set the expectation that she could just drop everything. She had 2 kids to take care of, right? It's not because she didn't feel like she deserved more. She was discounting because she wanted the flexibility. I mean, it's not like she's leaving early. She's, you know, just leaving on time.
Do you think that was a valid concern for her to have? Then the expectation on the employer's side was that?
Yeah.
What advice would you give for other people who are applying for a tech job or they're negotiating a salary for a tech job, particularly women?
Oh man, I don't have any advice other than go to a place where there are other parents. I think finding a place that understands that people can't just work and work and work, and they have to have these other parts of their lives in order to stay sane and healthy.
And I also think that that ultimately makes you more productive when you're at work.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you a couple questions that I'm asking everybody,
Sure.
unless anybody has any questions. And a reminder, you can also call in. If you have like a specific problem in your life, she can be your advice lady. And she can
No, I can refer you to my trained therapist.
What have you learned about yourself through entrepreneurship and through growing this nonprofit?
Man, shit is so hard. Changing the world is so hard. You gotta be in it because you're obsessed with it. You gotta make it work in the context of this fuckery in this world. I'm first generation, so just a little bit of background on where I'm coming from and why I say this. I'm first generation in my family to go to college. I was raised by my grandmother in Chinatown. My parents divorced when I was very young. My dad was an addict, my mom left. So my grandparents kind of took over. The conventional wisdom was go do school, and I don't even know if they expected me to go to college. They just expected me then to get a safe job, you know, like have a family and buy a house and all of that, right? I didn't follow that. Partly because of what happened to me. I have like 0 patience for doing things safely because I was never safe, right? I was just like, well, let's just go try it. I was always the girl that was like, we should do a play. We should build this thing. Like, I was just always that girl anyways. I still have a lot of self-doubt a lot of times about like, should I be doing this? Would my grandma be mad at me, right? And then finally I got to a place where I just embraced it. I said, you know what? The chances of me being here was so slim to begin with, right? Like, I made it. It is my duty to my ancestors to do this because they couldn't. Like, they did all this so I could be here to do this. I would have the chance and the opportunity to do it. So I should do it and just try it and see what happens, right? And I have lived through so much that I just, like, I ain't afraid of shit. I'm not scared of you. And that's problematic sometimes because there's definitely a social hierarchy. And when I look at someone who thinks they're, you know, above me or whatever, and I'm like, I ain't scared of you, it gets weird. It gets awkward.
Oh my God, I need to like bow down to that answer. That was so good. I am dying right now thinking of how many people are going to be inspired by that. Okay, one last question from me. What does success look like to you?
That's a moving target. So short-term success is just keeping my family together and staying healthy so I can fight another day, right? My husband and I talk about this now. We gotta work out, we gotta do all these things so we can like do the Running Man at our daughter's wedding, you know? So there's that. And then the longer term, this is gonna be weird. The founder of Stripe, I read about it that he has a countdown clock of his life on his computer screen. And he estimated that he was going to live to he was 85 or something. I'm an Asian woman. I will live to 125. I have some time, but I'm very cognizant about the impact that I want to make in my life. And I joke about this to people, but I'm like, kind of not joking, that if I'm having the same conversations now about gender and economic opportunity when my daughters are my age, I will fling myself in front of a self-driving Google car. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I have a time horizon, and whatever I can do to create more economic opportunity for more people, whether that's like through entrepreneurship or tech skills or just telling you to just do it, the measure is going to be, you know, when my daughter is my age, like what's possible for her.
I think that is a lovely place to go out.
It's been so serious. We had all this, you know, pre-show banter about ridiculous things, and it's taken a turn.
No, we should have some lighthearted stuff.
It's taken a turn.
What's your favorite food?
I love pho, and we procured an Instant Pot recently. Do you guys know what that is? It is a magical cooking machine. So usually when like legit Vietnamese women make pho, I don't know, they'd spend probably all night like simmering the bone broth.
Oh, we went to one of the best restaurants, and they're like, we spent 12 hours.
Yep. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, I'm hungry now. But we bought this machine, and it cooks pho like in 30 minutes. So my husband's been making it, and let me tell you, I have never been more in love with him. He suddenly is so sexy to me. Our marriage has like definitely like it's reached a new level.
All right, y'all, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can learn more about MotherCoders at mothercoders.org, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, if you want to make a donation to MotherCoders, we're a nonprofit. No one will be mad at you.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna be mad about that.
nobody gonna be
Yeah,
mad.
that was so good. That was like, I'm already obsessed with this interview. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. Listen, I am assuming that if you made it this far in the episode that you liked it. I mean, I'm just saying. Or maybe you just liked hating it the whole time, but either way, there's gonna be more episodes for you to love or hate in the future, so why don't you subscribe? You just gotta click just a little click down below. There's a link in the description, and you can get updates about future episodes. And then YouTube's gonna send me an email saying that you subscribed, and that usually comes when I'm having like a crappy part of my day, and you're just gonna turn it around. You're gonna make everything rainbows and sunshine in my life. That is the power that you have over me, and all you got to do is click below. So just think about it. All right, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh, if you know somebody that needs to hear Tina Lee say,
I ain't afraid of shit,
then share this episode with them. Go share some inspo for people not to be scared to go change the world. All right, thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.
My